So this is again the A part, the melody part for Spain. We're going to go over some improvisational ideas, but before we do that, I'm going to lay down a couple of times through the chord changes for you so you can play over this if you can hear it well. I have no idea how that stupid drum machine is mixing with what I'm doing here, but I'll try to do my best to give it to you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Enough of that. Okay, so here's some ideas on how you can get started seeing the same chords that I've already shown you, but seeing them in the context of some linear shape. The chord, the A part starts off on the 4 chord, which is G major, and so I just would use some kind of G major pentatonic or something based with that's got a major 7 in it. And don't play a C. It's a sharp 11 or Lydian chord, so you want to always have that. It's the 7 of a D major, that note, which is C sharp, so you always want that to be in your... So that's... But I would just start with something very simple. And then for your F sharp, again, this is an F sharp 7 flat 9, so it's really a G diminished stack. And those are just, I've shown these in other, it's just a diminished way of playing it that's friendly to 5-string banjo. G diminished. Cool sound. E minor, because it's Dorian, you can play anything in D. But this E minor, you might want to play something like a G major type sound. That's going to give you a 9. Or something very like based on this E minor. That's good. And then to the A, you can just play. And I've used this a million times over in many of the lessons I've taught prior. Just A7. Or this. Or this. So, again, those chords I'll play up to that point. Now we're back to D. Any of those. And those are all either pentatonic or something with a major in it. Now we get to the interesting part, C#7. What do we do with that? Well, I'm going to play each of these dominant chords as a Lydian dominant. Here's a cool way, couple of little tricks. Basically, if you take your C#, there's your C# with a 7. If you play this shape, and by the way, you could, on the C#7 and the F#7, you could do that diminished descending thing I was telling you about. Same shapes I was using down here, but don't forget, diminished is symmetrical. So every time you can play a shape, go up a minor third, play the same shape, go up a minor third, go up a minor third. It's all the same diminished application. Okay, so back to where I was. Again, diminished starting on a D for the C#7, diminished starting on a G for the F#7. And that just so happens that your D, if you slide it down a half step, there's your G. Okay, so now back to the Lydian dominant sound. C#7, it's really an A flat melodic minor scale. But we're going to choose pieces of it. Slide that down a half step. Again, now that's a G melodic minor. I should have warmed up more. And now the B, we're going to play the same shape we did before. We're just going to play like a D pentatonic is really a B minor, right? D relative minor, B minor. But now we're going to turn that into Lydian dominant. So you get that B7 sound with a sharp 11. So those changes sound like this when you're playing them. So very easy way to slip through those chord changes. I'm going to just noodle just for a second and show you a little bit of how those work together. 3, 4, and... etc. Okay, probably a little frustrating because I am noodling, but I'm using the same concepts that I just showed you through those stacks. I'd be happy to answer questions on this in the future. There are probably people going to yell at me for playing too fast, and other people will yell at me for covering the same thing too many times. But have fun with it. It's a great tune. It ends by going, do bum bum bum. And then I end usually right there on a G major 7, even though it's the 4th chord of the key. Have fun. Spain, Corea, Spain.